All right, we're going to have a little bit of introduction because there's not a lot with the story, but I'm still very excited. So back in 2006, a collection movie was released called Samurai Horror Tales, which had 3 different horror stories in it that you could watch, and whichever one did best was going to get made into its own series. And that one was Bakeneko, which turned into the anime Mononoke, which also came out in 2006. Since then, we've had 3 movies, Phantom in the Rain, Ashes of Rage, which all had the same medicine seller from the original collection of stuff before, and Curse of the Serpent, which is the newest one that came out this year that had a new medicine seller. And they've announced, as of this week, that we will be getting another anime project within the Mononoke franchise. We don't know if it will be an anime or a movie, but it will have a new medicine seller. And I love this design so much. It just looks cool.
It really does.
The posing, the color, the fact, like, he doesn't look like the others. The other 2 kind of looked very similar to each other except for the color schemes and some of the patterns and hair texture, but this one looks very different. And I mean that in a positive way. They've given us their name, which is Ken no Tsurugi. He'll be a medicine seller in another section of Japan like the others have been. And that's really all. Oh no, we do have one other thing. I'm sorry. We do have who his voice actor is, which is a gentleman by the name of Hirofumi Araki. And what is very interesting about him is he has not only acted as the first medicine seller in the live action place for him, he's also done the other. So he will now have been all 3 medicine sellers in some capacity, which is very cool. I don't know what they're planning to do with this, but whatever it is, I am on board for it. I know y'all haven't, I don't think y'all have watched the Mononoke series, but what do y'all think?
I mean, I've watched it. It's a classic series, so.
I don't remember if I watched.
Really? It's been too long then.
It came out in 2006.
Yeah.
I did not transition. Maybe during lockdown.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Cool.
I'm so
cool.
sorry. Like,
no, it's okay.
Like, I see the picture. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
When I come back next time, I'm just throwing the box set I have of this show.
Oh boy, here we go.
And as you should.
Nah, this is the one I'll actually side with Cora on it. It's a really great series.
It is a horror series, but it's horror in a really fun and abstract way. Everything about it feels like a textured, like, Japanese painting.
Okay.
Which is those paper, like the old paper stuff. It's really cool. And it touches on some funky topics.
Yeah.
The first one, like, it came out the gate with one that my friend was not prepared for. I had warned her, like, 5 times over what it was going to be. She was actually not ready for it.
I mean, dare I say, I call this one of the pillars of anime back then. Because
It's really good. And if you have the chance, because I've been trying to find a copy of Samurai Horror Tales, it doesn't exist anymore. They don't sell it anymore, so it's really hard to find at a reasonable price. However, if you go on YouTube and search up Bakeneko, you will find the full movie for Bakeneko in 2 parts.
And this is around like that 2005 era when like the stores in the mall were carrying like they had like an anime section, and you could get things like Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, and you're starting to get Ghibli stuff
at your local Suncoast.
Yeah,
it's unfortunately years before my anime conversion.
But this is when we first started getting that kind of like on the heels of like what Adult Swim was doing.
Yeah.
And we started getting physical anime like in stores that we could buy. So this was right up there with some of the stuff that we were able to get during that time. So that's why I consider it like something that really kind of got it into people's hands, and we're trading, or we're getting into anime. Yeah. I love that period of time.
So I watched the entire series on YouTube in several parts.
Yeah.
Because that's all I found it
Classic.
randomly one day. I was like, oh, this looks cool. And then I just got hooked. And I
Yeah.
watched the whole thing. It can be binged in a day. It's like I said, it's like maybe 12 episodes.
Yeah, because granted, when we were buying them, we were getting like maybe 3 episodes per DVD,
Yeah.
3 to 4 episodes per DVD. Y'all have the benefit of an entire box set now, but man,
No, we will not say benefit. I have less than a YouTube 1-minute short gripe to anime fans for us that are more recently converted. You cannot tell me about anime conversion and the pillars of anime, because every time I'm like, what about Evangelion? And like, oh yeah, that
was
pillar.
this time, yeah.
No, I haven't seen it. So what the fuck are the pillars? I need a short list.
So here-
Everyone disagrees about what the pillars are, and every time I'm
Ooh,
like, I've been converted to
Well,
anime.
no, here's the thing. Here is the thing about
No, I'm with her.
anime. Because I don't disagree with you. Anime every few years has like its pillars, like its staple animes that set up what the next generation of anime will be. We've had this fucking isekai bullshit for so long because one of the pillars in the last generation was Sword Art Online. And Sword Art Online got really, really popular and put a boom into it. We've always had isekai anime, even since like the 80s, but it wasn't a popular genre. It was for girls, so it wasn't super looked at. So, and like some were popular, don't get me wrong, but it didn't set up anything until Sword Art Online. The tournament arc stuff started happening because of Yu Yu Hakusho. They did the tournament arc so well that started setting up that portion. But also Shonen just had a boom because they're in that same era. You also had Dragon Ball Z. You also had
you had Gundam Wing.
You had Gundam Wing.
You had Cowboy Bebop.
And Cowboy Bebop. And you had those kinds of things. And you did have an era a little bit with horror with Evangelion, because that's where you also got Elven Lied. Jesus Christ.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And honestly,
Good layout of the time right there.
Yeah, which also probably led into Mononoke becoming part of that transition as well.
And let's give Toonami their flowers, because
Do you realize what you just did? You almost had me.
Okay.
With the foundations of whatever.
Yeah.
Because The Exorcist is not one of the best horror movies that exists. I'm
Okay.
sorry, it's not. But it set up so many other things.
Yeah.
But then you move into, but you need this whole flow chart, and then we're doing this. We're doing shonen, and then that kind of led into Gundam, and then from that we're doing isekai, and from
But that's how it laid out.
yes,
though.
fair. But when I'm trying to get into a new thing, I feel like it is most helpful when I'm like, where's the starting point that I can talk to anime fans about? There's nothing. There's no starting point.
And that is kind of the downside of anime, because it fully depends on their age. We could have conversations about anime because anything we would recommend to you that you would like came out in our time frame.
Yeah.
And I could still recommend some newer anime I think y'all would enjoy, but it's not going to be what y'all are looking for, because they don't make stuff like that anymore, or they don't frequently. I should put that disclaimer there somewhere.
Yeah.
Because they don't tend to make interesting hyper horror stuff anymore like they did with Berserk, which I would love if I had something like that also wasn't filled with essay kind of stuff.
It would be lovely, yes.
Yeah, looking directly at Redo of Healer, because they tried to be that, and they just went into sexual assault immediately.
My soul needed so bad for something you to say is that you said, which is this is a little the downside, and then my soul was healed a little to just hear it be acknowledged in some way that it's hard to find. I'm actually loving my anime conversion and the ones that I've seen. I just needed somebody to be it's okay. It's
a lot of it was
sometimes.
just getting it to the mainstream American audience. So horror anime would not exist without Paranoia Agent.
Paranoia Agent was a big proponent of that, which if that's one that you'll
Like
have
they
to,
took risks with that one. Like, would people watch it? Are you okay?
I've never heard of it.
Okay,
I've
okay,
never heard of it.
Okay,
Of
so
the most important horror. And like she was talking about it, same thing with me. Like I've been trying for years,
which
and every time it does feel like
You
yeah,
can't
you
belong
just need to
there.
watch this one. It's like I've been watching for years and I've watched so many. I've never heard of it.
And here's the thing, I'm actually shocked you have never heard of it before because of who made it, which is the director Satoshi Kon.
Okay.
He's the one that did the movie Perfect Blue, which I've mentioned
Oh.
on the show
Oh, yeah.
before. Yeah, which if you've seen Perfect Blue, you kind of have an idea of the kind of storytelling you'd
That
be
was
getting
such
into.
a word of mouth anime back when it came out.
It was. It played on it played on Toonami once, and they recognized their mistake on that one.
Yeah.
But Paranoia Agent was his only anime, and it's not long.
It was episodic too. So
Yeah. Well, no. Well, here's the thing.
well, it's one long. You're right. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
It is not episodic.
It's playing into each one. You have to watch
Yeah.
them all.
I
But
will
why would you
say,
not watch all of them?
I know I hit a chord because comments suddenly got longer from some of my closest friends. And like, here's the thing. One of the deep reasons we do the show is to make people feel like welcome in fandoms. And the deeper feelings part of me that's reaching out is it's hard to feel accepted as a real anime fan if you're new.
And
that sucks.
I mean, I've been in anime fandom since I was a teen, like a preteen. Like I was probably 12 when I started watching anime. I still feel like an imposter in the anime scene because I don't like a lot of the popular stuff. Like I do like some of it. Like a lot of stuff. Like I love Gundam. Gundam is super popular. But I hate Inuyasha, and that's super popular.
Inuyasha.
What the fuck were you talking to me about the other day then? Was it not? It wasn't Inuyasha. It was
No.
something else.
By the way,
it
Naruto is
may
doing
have
a
been.
worldwide casting.
It may
call.
have been Fushigi Yuki,
Oh.
which came before
Wait,
Inuyasha.
no, was it Yu Yu
but-
Hakusho?
Yu Yu Hakusho, yes, that was the one we were talking
That's
about.
okay.
Okay.
That- it's another
that
one
was the
that's
one
popular.
you and Mia and Nathan were all
Yeah.
pitching.
I feel like
It
this is a
is-
greater
yeah.
conversation we could have because this just
Yeah.
sparked off.
This could be.
This just hit off,
Maybe
so-
we should dedicate an entire show at some point. Hey, chat. Do you want us to talk about anime for an hour and a half? If so, sound off
I
in
think
the
a round
comments.
table would be great. But
I have a bunch of rants, and I should have realized that my less than 1 minute rant would be
Was 20 minutes?
was a launching point for a whole
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
always, Christian, you put things in a way I can understand, and that's
Anyway.
very helpful because okay, that makes sense.
go ahead and top off that story. So we
Oh,
can-
is it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Moral of the story, we're getting more Mononoke probably within the next year because it looks like the movies have been each year. In 2024 is when we had Phantom in the Rain, 2025 is when we had Ashes of Rage, and Curse of the Serpent was this year. If you want to give Mononoke a try and you don't want to watch like Bakaneko, but you want to watch the show, Netflix has the entire series plus all 3 movies. So you can go watch it right now. If you want to watch Bakaneko, it is available on YouTube. Understand that it is in Japanese if it's still there. I have to go check and see if it's still there.
Subtitles.
Yeah, it's Japanese with subtitles. So nice. I love it. And I love seeing how the personality of the medicine seller changed from that movie to the actual show. Because in the movie, he's kind of a sassy bitch. And in the show, he's a little more calm.
I am
Still
very
sassy.
recently converting to subs, not dubs. Like, it's hard for my ADHD, but Evangelion, the movies,
And
Cringe.
like, the English dub was so bad.
Horrendous.
That the cadence of the
We turned it off
Japanese
in about
was-
12 seconds.
Yes. It's so good.
That's like that's one of my biggest critiques about back in the day because they didn't think anime was worth it, so they didn't put a lot of work into
Yeah.
it. But there were certain ones that they just popped off. Yu Yu Hakusho and Cowboy Bebop are the 2 that I recognize as some of the best English voice acting for anime back in that time.
Yeah.
Because like with Cowboy Bebop, even the Japanese were like, you know what? I think they did a better job than we did.
Yeah.
Shout out to Taliesin Jaffe, who is like Hollywood
Uh-huh.
royalty, who's
Yeah.
actually instrumental in getting like dubs taken. Or,
Check out
dubs taken
his
seriously.
roles, man.
They were doing old school like studio rentals and making fan casts of it.
Also,
He's a big part of that.
Shout
whole
out to Allie Mims and Albie Robles, two personal friends of mine that have worked in dubbing in the last 10 years. One of the reasons that I watch dubs sometimes
Albie's
is
good
because
people.
Albie,
Albie's been on the show, and we know him completely separately from the show, which is
yeah,
crazy.
just a friend of ours who
We've worked with
happens
him.
to work in dub. Love his work, love him as a person.
Allie, they're amazing.
Allie
Worked with them before,
slaps.
and they're dope.
Love Allie.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you for healing part of my heart. Thank you to the chat for telling us that you would like to see this, and also to the chat in the show for making me feel at home as a new fan.